characteristic of displacement is that every physical quantity must be measured using a standard unit, and the SI unit of displacement is the metre, represented by the symbol m. The International System of Units, commonly called the SI system, provides a universal standard for measurements used by scientists, engineers, and students around the world. Since displacement is a measure of the change in position, its standard SI unit is the metre. A metre is the most commonly used unit for measuring displacement in everyday situations. For example, if a student walks from one classroom to another and ends up 10 meters east of the starting point, the displacement is written as 10 meters east. Here, the unit is meters, while the direction east is included because displacement is a vector quantity. However, not every displacement is measured in meters alone. For very large displacements, such as the movement of a car between two cities, it is more convenient to use kilometers, represented by the symbol km. 1 kilometer is equal to 1,000 meters. For example, if a vehicle ends up 15 kilometers north of its starting point, the displacement can be written as 15 kilometers north instead of 15,000 meters north. For smaller displacements, we often use centimeters represented by the symbol cm. 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeters. Centimeters are useful for measuring the displacement of small objects, such as the movement of a book across a table, or the position change of a laboratory instrument. For very tiny displacements, such as the movement of microscopic objects or precise engineering components, millimeters, represented by the symbol m, are used. 1 meter is equal to 1,000 millimeters, making this unit suitable for measuring very small changes in position. One important difference between distance and displacement is that although both have the same SI unit, displacement must always include direction. Simply writing 10 meters is not enough to describe displacement because it tells us only the magnitude. A complete description would be 10 meters east, 25 meters north, or 5 meters west, where both the magnitude and the direction are clearly stated. For example, if a person moves from one point to another and ends up 10 meters east of the starting position, the displacement is 10 meters east. If another person ends up 25 meters north of the starting point, the displacement is 25 meters north. Similarly, if someone moves and finishes 5 meters west of where they started, the displacement is 5 meters west. In each case, the unit is the metre, but the direction is equally important because displacement is a vector quantity. Scientists, engineers, architects, surveyors, and navigation systems all use SI units because they provide a common international standard. Whether measurements are taken in Pakistan, Japan, Germany, or any other country. Using SI units ensures that everyone understands the values in exactly the same way. A simple way to remember this concept is that the SI unit of displacement is the metre. But unlike distance, displacement must always include a direction. The unit tells us how much the position has changed, while the direction tells us where the object has moved relative to its starting point. So, whenever you measure displacement, remember that its SI unit is the metre. Larger displacements may be expressed in kilometers, while smaller ones may be expressed in centimeters or millimeters. However, because displacement is a vector quantity, its value must always be written together with its direction, making it a complete description of the object's change in position. Important characteristic of displacement is the symbol used to represent it in physics. Scientists use symbols to write equations and solve problems more easily. Displacement is commonly represented by the symbol x, pronounced delta x. In many textbooks, especially those dealing with motion along a straight line, x is used because it means change in position. The Greek letter means change in, and x represents the position along the x-axis. Therefore, x literally means change in position, which is exactly what displacement measures. In many other physics and engineering textbooks, displacement is represented by the symbol ninth, which is the letter S with an arrow above it. The arrow is very important because it shows that displacement is a vector quantity. A vector quantity always has both magnitude and direction. Whether a textbook uses x or nen, both symbols represent the same physical quantity, which is displacement. For example, suppose an object moves 15 meters east from its starting position. This displacement can be written as x-to 15 east. Another textbook may write the same displacement as tekyo 15 m east. Although the symbols are different, the meaning is exactly the same. Both statements describe a displacement of 15 meters toward the east. Similarly, if a car ends up 8 kilometers north of its starting point, one book may write x tekyo 8 km north, while another may write tekyo 8 km north. In both cases, the displacement is identical because both symbols represent the same change in position. The reason different symbols are used is that different authors, educational boards, and universities follow different notations. Some prefer X because it directly shows a change in position, while others use 9 to emphasize that displacement is a vector. Both notations are internationally accepted, and there is no difference in their physical meaning. When solving physics problems, it is always a good idea to follow the notation used in your textbook, classroom, or examination. If your textbook uses X, then continue using X throughout your solution. If it uses in, then use that notation consistently. This makes your work neat, clear, and easy to understand. It is also important not to confuse the symbol with the unit. The symbol tells us which physical quantity we are discussing, while the unit tells us how that quantity is measured. For example, in x $to 10 m's east, the symbol x represents displacement, while m stands for meters, which is the SI unit of displacement. Similarly, in Nike 5 km north, 9 represents displacement, while km stands for kilometers. Because displacement is a vector quantity, it should always be written together with its direction. Writing only x 15m or 15m is incomplete unless the direction is also given. A complete description would be x 15m east or ein 15m east, because both the magnitude and the direction are included. A simple way to remember this concept is that x emphasizes the change in position, while n emphasizes that displacement is a vector. Although the symbols look different, they both describe the same physical quantity. So, whenever you study displacement, remember that it is commonly represented by the symbols x or 9, depending on the textbook or scientific notation being used. Both symbols represent displacement, and there is no difference in their meaning. The only thing you must remember is that displacement is a vector quantity, so it should always be expressed with both magnitude and direction. This example helps us clearly understand the difference between distance and displacement. Imagine that a student starts from the origin, which is 0 meters. First, the student walks 10 meters toward the east. After reaching that point, the student turns around and walks 5 meters back toward the west. Now, let's calculate both the distance and the displacement. To find the distance, we simply add the total length of the path traveled. Distance measures the complete path covered by an object, and it does not depend on direction. Since the student walked 10 meters forward and then 5 meters backward, the total distance traveled is 10 plus 5, which equals 15 meters. An easy way to imagine this is to think of placing a rope along the exact path the student walked. The length of that rope would be 15 meters, because distance always measures how much ground has been covered, regardless of the direction of movement. Now let's calculate the displacement. Displacement is the shortest straight-line distance from the starting point to the ending point, along with its direction. It depends only on the initial position and the final position, not on the path taken in between. The student started at 0 meters, walked to 10 meters east, and then returned 5 meters west, finally stopping at 5 meters east of the starting point. Using the displacement formula, displacement equals final position minus initial position, we get 5 meters minus 0 meters, which equals 5 meters. Since the final position is toward the east, the displacement is 5 meters east. This means that even though the student actually walked a total of 15 meters, the overall change in position is only 5 meters toward the east. This happens because displacement ignores the actual route and only compares where the object started and where it finally ended. So, if we compare both quantities, distance is 15 meters because it represents the total path traveled, while displacement is 5 meters east because it represents the shortest straight line change in position from the starting point to the ending point. Distance is a scalar quantity, which means it has only magnitude and no direction. Displacement is a vector quantity, which means it has both magnitude and direction. Distance depends on the actual path traveled, whereas displacement depends only on the initial and final positions. This example clearly shows the fundamental difference between these two physical quantities. Distance tells us how much ground an object has covered, while displacement tells us how far and in which direction the object has moved from its starting point. Therefore, the final answers are distance sec 15 meters and displacement sectico 5 meters east. Understanding of the difference between distance and displacement. Imagine that a person starts from a particular point and first walks 50 meters toward the north. After reaching that point, the person turns around and walks 50 meters back toward the south, finally returning to the exact place where the journey began. Although the person has walked a considerable distance, the starting point and the ending point are the same. To calculate the distance, we add the total length of the path traveled. Distance measures the complete path covered by an object, regardless of the direction of motion. In this example, the person walks 50 meters north and then 50 meters south. Therefore, the total distance traveled is 50 meters plus 50 meters, which equals 100 meters. Distance simply tells us how much ground has been covered during the entire journey. Now let's calculate the displacement. Displacement is the shortest straight-line distance from the starting point to the ending point, along with its direction. Since the person returns to the exact same position where the journey started, there is no change in position. The initial position and the final position are identical. Using the displacement formula, displacement equals final position minus initial position. The result is 0 meters. Because there is no change in position, no direction is required. This example highlights one of the most important differences between distance and displacement. Even though the person walked a total of 100 meters, the overall change in position is 0, because the journey ended exactly where it began. Distance depends on the total path traveled, while displacement depends only on the starting point and the ending point. So, in this example, the distance is 100 meters, while the displacement is 0 meters. This clearly shows that an object can travel a long distance but still have 0 displacement if it returns to its original position. Distance is a scalar quantity because it has only magnitude, whereas displacement is a vector quantity because it normally includes both magnitude and direction. However, when there is no change in position, the displacement is simply 0. The most important lesson from this example is that whenever an object returns to its starting point, the distance traveled is not 0 because the object has moved, but the displacement becomes 0 because there is no net change in position. Therefore, the final answers are distance tell 100 meters and displacement tell 0 meters. This example helps us understand what happens when an object moves in a complete circular path. Imagine a runner standing at the starting line of a circular track. The runner begins running and completes one full lap around the track. After finishing the lap, the runner arrives exactly at the same point where the journey started. Even though the runner has traveled all the way around the track, the starting point and the ending point are exactly the same. To calculate the distance, we consider the total length of the path traveled. Distance always measures the complete path covered by an object, regardless of its direction. In this case, the runner has completed one full lap around the circular track. So the distance traveled is equal to the entire circumference of the track. If the circumference of the track is 400 meters, then the distance traveled is 400 meters. If the circumference is 500 meters, then the distance traveled is 500 meters. In general, for one complete lap, the distance is always equal to the circumference of the circular track. Now let's calculate the displacement. Displacement is the shortest straight-line distance from the starting point to the ending point, along with its direction. Since the runner finishes at exactly the same point where the journey began, there is no change in position. The initial position and the final position are identical. Using the displacement formula, displacement equals final position minus initial position. The result is 0 meters. Because there is no change in position, there is also no direction associated with the displacement. This example clearly shows that an object can travel a large distance and still have 0 displacement. Although the runner completed an entire lap and covered the full circumference of the track. The overall position did not change because the runner returned to the starting point. Distance depends on the actual path traveled, while displacement depends only on the starting point and the ending point. This is an important concept in physics because many students mistakenly think that if an object has moved a long way, its displacement must also be large. However, displacement only measures the net change in position. If the object returns to its original position, the displacement becomes 0, no matter how long the path was. Therefore, whenever an object completes one full lap around a circular track, the distance traveled is equal to the circumference of the track, while the displacement is 0 because the starting point and the ending point are the same. This example perfectly illustrates the fundamental difference between distance and displacement.